Good morning, ladies. Welcome to the extravaganza. This is a little flip through of the photo story junk journal that you'll be doing with the Arts Elegance range. So there is another video that I made that's a process video of some of the techniques and also how to put the journal together. The link will be loaded onto Facebook for you to access. So I'll do a quick run through of the journal so that you can see how I decorated it and a couple of things that I just want to remind you to take note of when you put the journal together. So all the cut sizes you will find in your notes, and over here you will see the pages that are glued together to form the journal, and I used the fabric pieces to make a cover that starts halfway here and stops halfway at the back. I layered and glued them all together. Important note is that you do not glue your cover to the spine of your journal. You'll see there's a gap there. That helps for your journal to lie flat when you open it, and it takes the stress off the spine when you fold your journal. So the front page, as I said, your layering of your fabric. I made a little cluster with some of the ribbon that I had in my stash and some of the fabric that I used in the journal. Tied them with a little string and just glued them to the inside of the cover there. This is all your metal flowers that you got. I layered them with some netting and coffee stained wet wipes. You'll find my process, the process of making the flowers and the butterfly in the process video. So I'll do a little flip through of the journal to show you how I decorated my pages. You'll see most of the pages are little pieces of fabric and paper, book pages that are glued together to form a little cluster. And I did some sewing. You don't have to do the sewing if you don't have a machine, but I do like the extra texture that the sewing gives in your little journal. I did some handwriting as well for some quotes. So my little journal is all about being happy together. We are a small, happy little family living here at Broncos Bay Dam, and it is Peter and I, and then I've got two beautiful cats called Jasmine and Lily, and a very, very naughty umbrella cockatoo called Coco. So this is all about our little family. I'll just page through all the pages so you can see how I decorated them. Here's some stamping. You'll find in the process video how I cut my leaves. I used, let me just get to a page. You'll find this paper with the black leaves on. So I used one or two of these leaves as a sample, and I hand draw with a black marker my own leaves on some of the off-cut papers, and I fuzzy cut it, and that gives a very nice additional element to your journal. This is all from our stash. Over here I did some stitching with a black marker around the page, and did some layering again with one of the leaves that I fuzzy cut. There's a very, very old trinket that I can't even remember where I got it from. So this is a very nice way of going through your stash and all those old little things that you never thought you would ever use again. Well, pull them out. They look beautiful in a junk journal. Another little cluster. Over here is a belly band. So I just glued a piece of paper to the top and the bottom, and it makes a belly band where you can either put some photos in. This is one of the little note papers in your kit, which you can write a little story on and just slide it in there. Some of my washi tape in my stash. Same here, the cluster with all the different kinds of pieces of paper and fabrics that you have in your kit. And you just lay them on top of each other, glue them down. There's another of the little black butterflies that I made. Over here you'll see there is tracing paper with a embossed pattern on it. So you can use any tracing paper that you can buy from a store and put it through your embossing machine with one of your embossing folders, and it is amazing the patterns that you can get onto your tracing paper, and you can use that as ephemera in your journal. Another little cluster. And so all those little pieces that you tear off, and don't throw them away. Every little piece will work beautifully to put clusters like this together, and you can sew them or glue them together, and they make lovely little embellishments in your journal. Another sample is that I just took some pieces of paper. This is sewing that I did on the interfacing. Some pattern sewing. If you don't have a machine that does patterns, you can just do a zigzag, or you can do some hand sewing, and that will give you a very nice extra texture in your journal. Also another quote. Handwritten quote. I don't like my own handwriting, but I'd like to do writing in my journals, just to leave a little bit of me behind in my journals one day when I'm not there, and my daughter paged through all of this. I know how I appreciate my mom's handwriting, all her old recipes, so hopefully my daughter will appreciate this as well one day. Another cluster with some of the butterfly tracing paper, or vellum. Vellum is actually vellum, not tracing paper, or vellum. This is just a piece of the book page that I made some. You can use any kind of border punch, make a border and outline it with a thin marker, and it also gives you a nice embellishment for your page. Over here I haven't done any photos yet. This is from our stash. This is also one of the vellum pieces in your kit, and one of the small little pages in your kit as well that I just layered. So all those small pieces, I think it's A6 if I'm not mistaken, you'll find in a little envelope, a butterfly envelope. So the envelope is a little bit too large for the journal. So what I did, I just cut the bottom part off and folded it in and made a smaller little envelope, and it's a very nice place where you can add your little ephemera pieces and leftover pieces to use on your pages. Some of my stash, little note papers from my stash, and I mixed that with some of the ephemera pieces on the cut sheet, and you can make your little clusters like this. I haven't done anything on this page yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. The butterflies are so beautiful. One little cat Jasmine, and another one of those vellum pieces that went through the embossing machine. It gives you beautiful texture to put in your journal. One of those vellum pieces, I just tore a piece off at the bottom and folded it in and made a little pocket, glued it down, made a little pocket, and then all these extra odds and ends and little pieces that I'm going to use at a later stage in my journal, I can fit in there. Another layers, this is also one of those note papers that are coffee stained with off-cut pieces and some tickets from our stash. So what I did here was I cut a frame into two of the pages. I added the butterfly vellum in between, and then I glued them together, and that formed a little window. So I'm layering with the cluster again. This is from our stash. So there were some odd pieces left from the paper. What I did is I cut them all to the same size and did some sewing. You can just glue them together in the middle, and the outside pages are stuck to my back page, and that made a little book which I can now decorate and add some more photos onto. Another little cluster, and this is my last page. So I took a piece of the cheesecloth, tore it, and some of the vellum, one of the vellum sheets I sewed onto the cheesecloth, and I made my cluster on top, and I just glued everything down onto the back page. So that is then your journal. And as you can see, it kind of went all thick on me because of all the layering that I did inside. So to keep it together, I made a little closure. So the closure is very, very easy to make. I just took two clips, bull clips, the small ones, put a chain on them, and added some trinkets. And that I just clip onto my page, front and back, and it holds everything together, like so. So that is it. Enjoy, ladies. Goodbye.